night watch, we them bad cows. We the night watch, we them bad cows. If there's any trouble, we'll back down. We the night watch, we them bad cows. We the night watch, we them bad cows.
Yo, what's going on, my heroes, my villains, my fellow cow collectors, and everybody else on YouTube? It's your brony, the game, back at it again with another Bad Cows video. Ooh.
Welcome back, heroes. So, with the addition of DC Comics on the Palm blockchain, Palm has changed the game.
So, in this video, I just want to take a look at the comics on Palm blockchain. I want to take a look at the DC Comics, explore them, and see what they're all about. Because, they've added a different flavor to the comic NFT scene. So, I think people will be interested to learn about that. So without any ado, let's breeze into it. Okay, so we're going to head on over to nft.dcuniverse.com where DC's comics are held. For this portion, we're going to go to my collections so we can check out a comic. And I think we might as well check out the Superman issue number 1, which I recently purchased. As you can see, I paid $5.50 for it on October 28th. And the price has risen considerably since then, so I'm happy about that. But one thing you'll notice right away is there is a grading system in the traits and rarity section, right? So this is an uncommon, and the grade is 2.0. So as you can tell, it looks like a 2.0 to me, right? But this is the uncommon, like I said, and it looks like there's a couple of features on here that are unique to this comic. You will notice June 7th, 1939 kind of printed on there, and then you'll notice this AD right here. So a couple of interesting features already off the bat. Looks like there's only 867 versions of this edition, and there's 63 listed in the market with total sales. So they have a comic reader, and we're going to click on that to enter the comic. Okay, so there we go. So it's come up. It's got 67 pages, as you can see in the bottom left-hand corner. And I think if you swipe right or swipe left, let me see. Okay, actually, if you click on this button right here, I think it'll bring up all the pages. So to get to the next page, you can click right here like so. And yet another interesting feature. This is an actual ad that wasn't actually in the comic. So this is a unique feature to DC Comics. I don't think any other NFT comics have the actual ads in the book. So let's see if I can scroll in. Let's see, zoom in. Okay, I'm having problems zooming in. That's just me though. Let me switch something. Let me get out of desktop mode. Okay, let me get back into the comic. Little technical difficulties. I think this is better. Okay, yeah, so now I'm swiping right, and this is one way to turn pages. But I want to show you guys something else. If you click on this tab on the bottom right hand corner, you can actually read panel to panel. So this is very convenient. All you got to do is tap the screen, and it'll take you panel to panel. So you don't have to worry about shifting your eyes. You don't have to worry about which panel comes next. It takes you there, and it'll also take you to the next page if you keep tapping. So this is a very interesting feature, and it's very convenient. And you can actually get through the comic pretty smoothly this way. So let me go back to the full page. And let's skip ahead and let's see if we can find another ad real quick. I don't want to spoil the comic for you guys and gals. Here we go. Here's another ad. Very, very interesting. I'm a big fan of having the ads into the actual comics because I feel like that's a way to preserve history. I feel like these digital comics are kind of a way to preserve the actual comic. So like, let's say one day far into the future, where like physical comics are like extremely rare or like non-existent, all we'll have left is probably a digital version or the NFT version. So the fact that the ads are still in there, I think that's huge and very unique and adds value to the comic, if I do say so myself. So let's back up out of here. So yeah, that's the Superman 1 comic. Let's go to another comic and just see if there's any differences. Let's go to the Harley Quinn comic that was airdropped to people who minted the free Harley Quinn box. So let's go into this comic and check it out. Okay, so let's do the tapping. Alright, so as you can see, this one's it has better quality than the other comic, because the other comic kind of simulated a 2.0 grade. This one is more, basically better quality. So, yeah, pretty cool. Let's see if this one has any ads. Let's see. Oh, yeah, heck yeah. Okay, so it does have ads. This is a pretty cool ad. Now, this is what I'm talking about. See, I could just sit here and just like explore this ad. I would sit here and take 5 minutes to explore this ad. You kind of get a sense of the times. This looks like late 80s. Looks like video games. So yeah, this is really cool. I love that the ads are in here. It adds a whole new flair to the comics. This is definitely an 80s vibe. I love it. Yeah. Okay, yeah, this is it. Crazy. Let's check out one more real quick. Let's see. You got WrestleMania. All right, yeah. So this is awesome. So yeah, this is DC Comics, and let me go back real quick to the Superman. I think I missed a few features. I just wanted to show you the 2.0 once more, the 2.0 grade. Like, as you can see, the pages are actually kind of like, I'm not sure. I got to take a look at another grade. I'm not sure if like the 10.0 or the 9.8 is like maybe it has white pages. I'm not sure. I think it does. So this is simulating a 2.0, like I said. You can kind of see through the comic pages and stuff like that. And I want to play a clip for you guys real quick with Matt Mason explaining, their process and stuff. So let's get into that clip real quick.
It's kind of real comics. So yeah, anyways, that's it. So just wondering more about the variant covers and how you guys came about that and what your plans are in the future for that.
Yeah, so the variant covers are actually something that is selected by DC. So we're working with them to get this art out to you guys. So that's for the variants, and then for, I think you asked about the uncommon one, why that was made the most worn, but wasn't the lowest tier of rarity. So that was something that we actually spent a bit of time debating. It was a discussion with DC about how to rank that, and we were a bit torn. We weren't sure how the community would respond to receiving a cover that was in that condition. Personally, it's my favorite version of the covers. It looks like a comic that has been very well loved and enjoyed, and I kind of dig that. But it was something that we wanted to make it a little bit more rare, so that if people were disappointed about receiving something of that kind of quality, that it has other aspects to it that were more positive. But yeah, this is our first comic that we're selling to the community, the first graded comic that we've released. So we're listening to how people respond to it, and we'll be basing our decisions moving forward on the feedback that we're getting from everyone.
And just to add on that, just so you guys know, like when Andrew says DC, what he means is Jim Lee. So Jim was the guy on the call with us, and he gets to decide, and he was the the sort of final word on how we were going to do rarity and how we're thinking about that. And I'm with Andrew. I think the most warm one's the most interesting in a number of ways. What does AD mean scrawled on that cover? Like there's so many things on there, and that was like, I want you guys to know, because I know how important it was to everyone to know that Jim was involved in the Cowls, but Harley, DC3, everything we're doing together, Jim is the sort of final decider on how the creative's going to go from DC's side, and it's amazing to have him on this project, especially with all of his years of knowledge and experience with actual comics, like have him be involved in how these are graded and how they look. It's just like we learned so much from him just getting on every call with it on this. It's amazing.
All right, so we had quite an interesting day on Twitter today, where the man, the myth, the legend, Jim Lee himself actually came out and addressed some things. So somebody called the comics a piece of trash, and then people were speculating on whether the comic has these digital comics where they scanned versions of physical books, basically. And so right here it says from Jim Lee himself, no, not a scan of an existing comic. We don't keep enough comics in different states of conditions in our archives. So he further elaborated. Let's see. The amazing DC production team spent several weeks working on replicating a vintage look that looked natural, not just on the covers, but from a page to page, so the weathering effects looked random like in real life. Really created a beautiful faux vintage look. And he sent an email from the official people. So Digital Comics grading samples. Hi Jim, here's the latest round of samples for your review. More visible paper yellowing, creases, and ticks in the lower grades. A second interior page added to show randomness of effects between pages. Thanks. So there you have it. The man, the myth, the legend, Jim Lee clarified some things himself, and that corresponds with what Matt Mason just said on the AMA. So let's take a look at some other things that was addressed. So this is in Discord. Somebody asked about why the prices isn't on the NFT, like the 10-cent prices, and Mr. Jim Lee said, there will be no price points on any of our drops so as to not create consumer confusion at both the original time of purchase and or later sales on the secondary market. So that makes sense. The comics didn't cost 10 cents as an NFT, so I guess they just took it off. Makes sense to me. So another comment from Jim Lee in Discord. We made the decision to include transparency to differentiate these DC3 comics from the digital comics you can buy through, for example, Comixology or read on DC UI. Both DC3 and our normal digital comics are native digital expressions, but the pre-modern age DC3 comics will include the weathering. So basically what I think that means is that the modern comics won't have the weathering, and the older comics like Action Comics 1, Detective Comics 27 will have the weathering effects. So even cooler, I think those might be more valuable because of that. So somebody on Twitter was asking about the AD on the uncommon version, and Mr. Jim Lee replied, AD are the initials of the DC digital production artists who did the spectacular work. Next time I'll ask our team to put Bobby COO480169 on a cover, but even then I suspect you will continue to be skeptical. So there's the answer behind what's the AD on that comic, but I still think that comic may have a few secrets. Here's a poll I made, because I don't know if you guys know, but the Superman 1 drop was kind of a disaster that's the popular consensus. I thought it was okay, but people called it a disaster. It was stressful, it could be improved upon definitely, but a lot of humans got that drop, so that's the silver lining behind all of that. But anyway, I asked if Palm was dropping Action Comics number 1 next week, and you knew for a fact the drop experience would be exactly the same as the Superman number 1 drop or worse, would you still go for it? Same mint price and edition size. Be honest. 555 votes. 85% of people said they would still go for it, and 15% said, nope, I'm done with Palm, and I am skeptical of that still. So basically, people understand that these comics are grails, and as stressful as the first drop might have been, it's worth it, because you see the prices of these comics. Actually, we haven't looked at the prices, right? But the prices are kind of spectacular for a $10 comic that was dropped only 3 days ago. So yeah, it's definitely worth it. Even if you get booted out of the queue, if your account gets locked, it's worth going for it, and we know that. So there's no need to complain. We've been here. We know what NFT drops are, and sometimes when there's 100,000 people going for 3,000 items, you're gonna get a little lag. So yeah, with that, we can move on. Real quick, let's go back to the collections on Palm NFT Studio. We'll notice that there's 3 comics in the comic section so far. There's 2 comics with 5 rarities, and then there's 1 comic with only 1 rarity. That would be Batman the Legacy Cowl, the first NFT comic from DC on the blockchain that was voted on by Cowl holders. So it's interesting to see that only has 1 rarity. I think that's interesting. But let's go to the Superman comic real quick and just look at the prices. Just for the record, I want to start with the uncommon, right? Let's take a look at it. There is 62 available in the market for purchase. This first price is a fluke. It's just kind of stuck there. I think it's a glitch. But as you'll see, the floor is basically 700, the same as the Cowls. So the price has kind of gone up over time. And let's back up out of here. And I think I want to take a look at the legendary, the most rare version, the cleanest version. There's only 143 versions. There's 30 total, and it has a floor of basically 8,400. So that's a 9.8 grade, and it's a legendary. So just for the record, I wanted to take a look at a couple of the prices. Let's take a look at this one real quick. This is the common 8.5, and it's got a floor of $585. So it's interesting that the uncommon costs a little bit more than the common, which is an 8.5 grade. I think people are speculating on that uncommon, and yeah. So with that, I think we can move on. And that's the video, my friends. If you made it this far, thank you for watching. If you learned something or enjoyed the content, feel free to drop a like on the video and consider subscribing for more Cowl content like this. So there you have it. Just a brief overview of DC's current comics on the blockchain, on the Palm Network. There's definitely more to come. But with the grading system and the ads in the comics, they definitely add a new flair to NFT comic collecting, and we will see what people value over time when it comes to collecting comics, NFT comics, that is. So with that being said, I am not a financial advisor. Nothing I say ever is financial advice, because I am learning just like you guys. I am just your friendly neighborhood genius. Ha ha ha! Ha 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 ha! Sharing his thoughts and opinions on this most spectacular platform known as Palm NFT Studios. So take everything that you hear from me with a grain of salt, because things could change. And with that, thank you guys again for watching, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Until then, peace out and hodl strong, and remember that not all heroes wear capes. Later.